Good foggy morning on day 8 of the OCT. It is 8:45 a.m. We are 0.7 miles in so far. Most of that was town walking. We just came down to the beach a couple of minutes ago. After having a lovely breakfast at the Current Coffee Shop. That was nice. We didn't get a wrap up last night, so let's see. Should we talk quickly about yesterday? We did 15 miles?
No, 10.
No? 10. Oh yeah. Sorry, 10 miles. So we started. Yep, we started our day in Garibaldi, and we went out to the docks there and took the shuttle across the Tillamook Bay, I believe it was, and that was a ferry shuttle. Again, that is not the official Red Line Trail. The trail is actually 18 miles on road. That goes all the way around the bay, and we decided to take the alternate route of taking the ferry across to the peninsula, Bay Ocean Peninsula, and then walking down the peninsula just for more scenic route, a little less dangerous route. So that was our decision. So yes, we did miss some miles of the OCT, but they were all road walking anyway. So that was a decision we decided yesterday, and then we finished up the day. We did ultimately have some road walking. That was not avoidable to get to the town of Oceanside, which is where we stayed last night, and had a lovely dinner at Rosanna's restaurant in town, and had a nice ocean view as this fog was rolling in. This started last night around dinner time, and we just watched the beach disappear in front of our eyes as we sat there and ate dinner. So that was pretty much yesterday, and then this morning today we have 16 miles to do. That is beach, and then road, and then we have some climbing to do. Probably only about 2 miles or so. Shouldn't be too bad. Before we head back down, and we're going to stay in another campground. What is it? I think it's a private, or not private, but I think it says USGS campground. I'm not really sure. A county park of some kind. Okay. So we'll see what that's like. Hopefully the fog lifts a little bit later and we can see more than this, but you never quite know. Walking down the road, looking across at a sandbar in the other side of this river, and sorry it's getting blurry and a little hard to see, but we got a bunch of seals laying on the beach over there. That's pretty cool. Can't really get a better picture than that right now. Pretty far away. One of our unavoidable road walks. Unfortunately, it's about 6 miles long, but we do have kind of a nice view over here. There's lots of shorebirds over here to see. Lots of egrets and herons and cormorants and gulls and stuff. So all right, we are in the Cape Lookout State Park, I think. We just stopped for lunch. It's a nice park along the ocean. Looks like there's lots of camping and cabins and yurts and all kinds of fun stuff. I'm not sure, I mean, we will be camping tonight, but I'm not sure I'd want to be camping right along the ocean right now. It's pretty chilly. We've actually been walking in our rain gear all day today just to keep the dampness off of us. But we now have 2 miles of climbing, about 950 feet or so up. That is what we are just getting started on now. Just reached the top of our climb, and now it's right back down to the ocean. So we've got just under 6 miles to go left in the day. So it's actually starting to lighten up a little bit. The fog is starting to lift enough. Now, as we're descending down towards the beach, we're actually getting a really nice view. This is unexpected. Sorry, it's a little wavy as I zoom in. Yeah, it's everything is down here is dry. Ground is dry. The leaves are dry. Up near the top, it was basically raining on us. I think it was just the wind and all the moisture coming off the trees. But within a few minutes of starting to go down, that all stopped. So. Just came down from Cape Lookout right down onto the beach. And yeah, it's much clearer. Blue skies a little bit over there. Gorgeous. Still some fog hanging over the cliff sides up there. Actually, that is Cape Lookout right there.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of up in that space right there on the other side. Yeah, very nice. This section up here, you probably see the headlights up there, has a warning for hikers that off-road vehicles are allowed on this section. They go up there, I guess. I just saw that vehicle driving up on the hillside in the sand, and now it's coming down here. So I guess that's something that we have to look out for in the next 2.5 miles. See, you're in charge.
No, I'm not in charge.
You do all the talking. This is the wrap up for day 8 on the Oregon Coast Trail, and today we did 16.3 miles, about 1,300 feet of elevation, which is kind of a lot for this trail, at least for us so far. We had one day that was 2,000 plus, but anyway. So where did we start today? In Oceanside, Oregon.
Cute little cabin.
Yeah, nice little cabin there. We had breakfast in the Current.
There's a cafe.
Yeah, I think it's called Current or Currents, like ocean current. And yeah, that was a nice little cafe.
I'm a sucker for a good yogurt parfait, and that's what it was. So
yeah,
that's why we stopped there.
And it was good. It had a nice breakfast. I had a breakfast burrito there. It was larger than I expected, and yeah, it was good breakfast. So we did that. Walked out of town. Walked down to the beach for a little bit, and then road walking. 6 miles of road walking. 5, right around 5 of those were along a pretty significant road. That was there was and very little, if any, shoulder at most of the time. Yeah. I think.
So yeah, we had to be really careful just to kind of watch where we were and where they were going to be and that kind of thing. So there was a gentleman actually who did stop.
Yes.
and offered us a ride. He thought that we were hitching. And
he actually turned around twice.
Yeah. So we should have taken that hitch.
We probably should have.
Just because he was so
nice. I felt bad for not taking it because he went past us on the opposite side of the road. So
and
he
I probably just waved.
Yes.
And he thought that I was flagging him down.
Right. So he then turned around and came back towards us and turned around right in front of us at a driveway right in front of us and then said, "Hey, were you sticking your thumb out?"
I was like,
"No.
Sorry."
No, but he had a great dog that we got to pet.
Anyway,
and
he was very sweet. I'm like, no, this is the actual trail. This is what they have us walking. So
yeah, unfortunately, I felt bad.
No,
but
he was nice, though.
Anyway, so it was just that stretch was kind of difficult walking. There were bends in the road, and there was curves and hills and things like that just made it difficult and a little unsafe. We would cross over to the opposite side sometimes just because of
there was a blind turn coming up.
Things like that. Yep. But then the road turned off. The last mile-ish of road walk was the road into the Cape Lookout State Park. Yeah. Yep.
Let's just say this. Let's just preface because we didn't start with this. The weather. Just fog.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's been cloudy all day, gray, very wet.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
And
that's what we were walking in all morning.
Yeah.
And then we got to lunch at Cape Lookout. Didn't really have much of any view per se. I mean, we could see out and see surf and the beach a little bit, but beyond that was it. Yeah. So we stopped there for lunch. There were 4 bus loads of kids there, so that was fun. And they literally drove past us right as we were getting to the camp. So they kind of took over the space, but that's okay. Yeah. And then we had our elevation for the day. Climbed up to the top of Cape. Well, at least where the trail goes to the top.
It was a nice trail.
It was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice trail.
Mm-hmm.
But again, couldn't see anything. Yeah. There really weren't many places to see anything anyway. But
we did not take the Blue Blaze up to the lookout strictly because we knew we weren't going to see anything.
Yeah. I mean, the trees that we were walking through when we got up to the top were clouded in.
Yeah. It felt like it was raining. It was dripping on us.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah.
And that was only like 900 feet of elevation.
Yes.
So it was low.
We weren't very high at all.
Today.
Yeah. And then started heading back down, and within a few minutes, it was dry. At least the air was drier.
There was a definitive line where the moisture kind of shifted.
We were on the other side of the mountain or hill or whatever it was at that point as well, but you can tell we're in a campground with a lot of off-road vehicles. Everything dried up. The dirt was dry, the leaves were dry, everything. And we actually started to see some shadows from the sun, which was really nice.
Got a little excited.
Yeah, it was like, oh. So, we got down to the beach and.
Yeah. That was probably the warmest it was all day. It was like maybe mid-50s all day, and then we got down there and it felt a little bit warmer just because it was lighter.
Yeah, we took our rain jackets off, and it was nice. Yeah. Still, you could look back at Cape Lookout and it was still socked in.
Yeah.
But
couldn't even see the top of it at all.
Right. So. And then we had a rough walk. It was easy walk on the beach as far as being flat, but it wasn't easy because go ahead.
No firm sand.
Yeah.
It was high tide.
Tide was coming in.
Everything had been dried out by that point of the day. We were like chasing waves back and forth just to kind of, get onto some kind of firm sand. But as soon as that wave came up, we were scooting over and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So it was difficult. We were sinking in a lot into the sand. So we then got off that. There were a bunch of off-road vehicles driving around everything as we got closer, and they were out having fun, and that was fine. But once we got past where they were allowed to be, we did take a shortcut across up and over the dunes, which also wasn't easy walking, but came over here to this campground from there. So So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it.
A huge thing though for today.
What did I miss?
We were walking along the beach. We saw the German couple.
Yes, that's right. Well, you interject. That's your job.
I just did.
Go ahead.
So I don't know if you remember or not. I don't even know if we have them on video at all. But when we were going through Mission Creek, when we came back from the PA from our going back in May, and when we started northbound again, and we had to go through Mission Creek, there were 4 other hikers two couples that we were kind of following and kind of traversing around for that couple of days, and then hung out with them a little bit too. And I think it was Big Bear.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the German couple, just very sweet. But when we were walking on the beach today, almost at the end of their day, and they recognized us first. I saw her wave. I saw the backpacks. I'm like, oh, more OCT hikers, and they're going northbound. And as we got closer, I'm like, oh my gosh. So we hugged and we chatted and we kind of caught up a little bit, but they did the exact same thing. It's just because of the fires, and they jumped over here.
They got to Truckee on the PCT and then jumped over it. Yeah. And did this trail northbound.
Yeah, so it was nice to see them.
Yeah.
Kind of catch up a little bit.
Fun little reunion on the beach.
Yeah.
With I think we've now seen 4 other OCT hikers the whole time. 2 of them are going southbound, but we're not sure where they are anymore. And then these 2. So So
awesome.
So that was fun. So tomorrow we have a short day, probably 7 miles or so, something like that. But first thing in the morning, we have to walk across at low tide from this peninsula, I guess, or this side of the land. I'm not sure what the land looks like, across to the other side. So we actually have to walk across the body of water, and we're guessing it's going to be somewhere around ankle deep or so, something like that. We're hoping it'll be yes. Yeah, we don't really know. So so that'll be kind of an interesting. I think it's only about a quarter mile, maybe a third or something like that, from one side to the other. But that'll depend on the tide, and that's just my estimate based on looking at the at our app. So
is it that far across?
Something like that, yeah.
That's far.
So I mean, it is far for walking across water, and then and then we have to do some road walking, maybe a mile or so. And some more beach walking. So, but it's going to be a short day. Tomorrow to another campground, right? Another sort of similar to this, maybe. So, so that's our day tomorrow, and I think that's about it. I think we hit all the highlights for today. So, all right, that's the end of day 8. Yes. We did pass the 100-mile mark, even though it's not 100 miles yet for us. That was at about 5 miles before we got here today. So out on the beach somewhere, I think. All right, we will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Night.
All right, tonight we are staying in the Sand Beach campground. This is it. It is pretty much an RV campground. For the most part. You can see this is actually our space. We have 2 pads here for RVs and cars and whatnot. So we're taking up that much space, and that's about it. So we've got a fire ring here. We've got a nice concrete picnic table. But as you can see, just looking around there, this space is pretty much used mainly by RVers and that are coming out. There's a popular, it seems to be, place where the off-road vehicles, the 4-wheelers and those types of vehicles can drive out on the beach and in a very large open sandy pit. So I think that's majority of the people that are here are doing that. And so they do have some bathrooms over there, but unfortunately no showers. So that's okay. We will hopefully shower tomorrow. And you can't tell the difference, can you? Can't smell us. So there you go. That's us for tonight. Talk to you tomorrow.